General Hospital spoilers for Wednesday, April 16 tease that Tracy is growing curious about the true identity of Gio, a new character who has arrived in Port Charles surrounded by mystery. With her naturally inquisitive and sharp nature, Tracy begins to ask more and more questions about Joe's origins and true motives. But as the new storylines unfold, Tracy finds herself inching closer to the truth, challenging some of the new power dynamics emerging in town. With years of experience spotting con artists and people with shady agendas, Tracy sensed something was off about Gio from the beginning. His sudden appearance, conflicting stories about his past, and especially his suspicious interest in the Quartermaine family, all raised red flags for her. She has started to investigate secretly, looking for evidence about Joe's real identity and why he's truly in Port Charles. In one of the crazier new plot twists, Tracy makes a breakthrough when she finds an old photo among Joe's belongings. The photo shows Gio standing next to a longtime enemy of the Quartermaines, suggesting he may be working for or connected to that person from the past. This discovery fuels Tracy's determination to uncover the truth. As always, putting the Quartermaine family first, Tracy begins crafting a plan to deal with Gio. She approaches him in a more friendly manner, trying to earn his trust to gather more information. At the same time, she reaches out to some old contacts to learn more about Joe's past and possible connections. Ned, Tracy's son, starts noticing a change in his mother's behavior and wonders if she's hiding something. He tries to figure out what she's up to, but Tracy keeps everything under wraps, afraid that revealing too much might put him in danger. Brooke Lynn, Tracy's granddaughter, also notices Tracy's unusual interest in Gio and tries to ask about it, but Tracy deftly changes the subject, not wanting to drag Brooke Lynn into a potentially dangerous situation. Meanwhile, Gio begins to suspect that Tracy is watching him. He starts becoming more cautious, making sure not to reveal too much. This sets up a cat-and-mouse game between the two, with each trying to keep their secrets while uncovering the others. As the storyline progresses, Tracy faces a difficult decision. Should she reveal what she's discovered about Gio, or remain silent and continue her investigation? Her choice could have major consequences, not just for Gio, but for the entire Quartermaine family and Port Charles itself. One thing is certain, the showdown between Tracy and Gio is bound to bring explosive drama and unexpected twists in the weeks ahead. Will Tracy uncover the truth about Gio before it's too late, or will she fall into the enemy's trap? Only time will tell, but Port Charles will never be the same once the truth comes out. Lucas enters at a moment of high tension, making a dramatic appearance as chaos brews in Port Charles. He witnesses a heated confrontation and can't stand idly by as things spiral toward danger. With his protective instincts kicking in, Lucas decides to intervene, creating a shocking moment for everyone present. Then comes a wild new storyline twist as Marco's true identity is finally revealed. Everyone believed Marco was just a regular lawyer, but in reality, he's a member of a powerful European crime family. He came to Port Charles with a specific mission, to build connections with local power players and pave the way for a major takeover. Marco's truth doesn't just affect those directly involved with him like Kai and Trina, it shakes the very foundation of Port Charles's power structure. Sonny, who's held control over the city for years, now faces a new threat, an organized crime family with deep resources and far-reaching ties. In a dramatic twist, Lucas discovers he has a personal connection to Marco from the past. While working at a hospital in Europe, Lucas unknowingly saved the life of an important member of Marco's family, something Marco has never forgotten. This creates a complex dynamic. Marco feels indebted to Lucas, yet remains committed to his mission in Port Charles. Now, Lucas finds himself caught in a moral dilemma. As a dedicated doctor and ethical man, he must choose between loyalty to his family and friends in Port Charles or honoring a past act of kindness. Should he reveal what he knows about Marco, or keep quiet and work behind the scenes to protect those he cares about? This storyline is shaping up to be one of the most explosive arcs in recent memory, as old relationships are redefined and new alliances formed. Port Charles is on the brink of a power war, Marco and his family on one side, Sonny and his allies on the other, and people like Lucas, Kai, and Trina caught in the middle. Brad, Lucas's ex, gets drawn into the situation after he accidentally uncovers key information about Marco's plan. This puts Brad in serious danger, forcing Lucas to step in and protect him, despite their breakup. Their renewed interaction stirs up old feelings, adding another layer of emotional tension to the unfolding drama. As events continue to escalate, Port Charles will see high-stakes confrontations, secrets exposed, and surprising partnerships formed. With his unique position, Lucas may become a key player in resolving the crisis, though he'll be forced to face tough choices about ethics and loyalty. The story of Marco, Lucas, and the looming power struggle promises to deliver intense drama and emotional payoffs for General Hospital fans. With each new episode, more layers of this conspiracy are peeled back, and characters will face the consequences of their actions, making this one of the show's most gripping storylines in recent times. Meanwhile, Lucky is dealing with new emotional turmoil, haunted by his past and present in Port Charles. Ever since returning to town, he hasn't been able to stop thinking about what happened before he left and how much things have changed. Memories of his past life with Liz and their children come flooding back, making him compare them to his current reality. A shift is happening in their relationship as they spend more time together following Liz's hospital discharge. Old feelings seem to be resurfacing, but both know things aren't the same anymore. Lucky sees that Liz has changed, she's stronger and more independent, while he himself is no longer the naive young man he once was. Still, a deep connection remains between them, built from years of shared joy and pain. As Lucky becomes increasingly obsessed with removing Rick from Liz's life, his paranoia grows. He believes Rick isn't a good man for Liz, especially after the car accident they were both involved in. Lucky suspects Rick is hiding something about that incident and begins a secret investigation. He gathers intel, follows Rick's movements, and asks old police colleagues and international contacts for help. His resolve to eliminate Rick from Liz's life becomes an all-consuming obsession. Though Liz still has feelings for Lucky, she's starting to worry about how far he's willing to go. She understands he wants to protect her and their kids, but she feels he's crossing a line. She tries to reason with him, but Lucky can't hear logic when it comes to Rick. Their son Cameron notices his father's behavior change and starts asking questions about his parents' history and why Lucky is so hostile toward Rick. This puts Liz in a tough spot, unsure how much of the complicated past she should share with her son. Meanwhile, Rick becomes aware that Lucky is investigating him, instead of retaliating with anger. Rick decides to manipulate the situation, planting false leads and misleading clues in hopes that Lucky will make a serious misstep. This evolving battle of wits between Lucky and Rick becomes increasingly dangerous, with Liz and the children caught in the crossfire. As Lucky digs deeper, he uncovers secrets not only about Rick, but also about Liz. These revelations force Lucky to consider whether continuing his investigation is worth the emotional toll it might take on her. His obsession shifts from just removing Rick to an intense need to uncover the full truth, regardless of the consequences. As tensions rise, Lucky must choose between love, loyalty, and responsibility. Can he overcome his obsession and rebuild a future with Liz, or are the ghosts of the past and unresolved hatred too powerful to conquer? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, with Lucky Spencer's return, Port Charles will never be the same. Curtis suspects Jordan's latest actions, as a tense situation begins to unfold between two people who once shared a deep bond. The latest shock revolves around the changes in how Jordan is running things as the mayor of Port Charles. Curtis, with his sharp investigative instincts, has noticed strange behaviors from Jordan in recent weeks, secret meetings, late-night phone calls, and an increasing number of interactions with individuals tied to the criminal underworld. One new development is that Jordan seems prepared for a showdown with Sidwell, who has emerged as a major threat to the Port Charles community. Jordan has been gathering intel on Sidwell's illegal operations and is now preparing for a takedown. However, in order to pull this off, She's diving deep into the underworld and even collaborating with some questionable characters, something Curtis can't understand. This marks a significant shift in the dynamic between Curtis and Jordan. Though no longer married, they still maintain a respectful and friendly relationship. But with Jordan's recent actions, Curtis begins to question her true motives. He can't help but worry that she's putting herself in danger, something that clashes with the cautious nature he once knew in her. This new turn of events adds to the rising tension, as Curtis decides to investigate Jordan's actions. He begins secretly following her, collecting information on the people she meets and the places she visits. This puts Curtis in a difficult moral position. On one hand, he wants to protect Jordan, on the other, he's violating her privacy. Jordan, though unaware of Curtis's surveillance, can sense his suspicion and concern. She wants to share her plan to bring Sidwell down with him, but knows that the fewer people involved, the safer everyone will be. She also fears that if Curtis learns the full extent of the danger, he'll try to stop her. As Curtis continues to dig, he gradually uncovers that Jordan is working as an undercover agent, infiltrating Sidwell's organization to gather evidence. This discovery fills him with deep fear. He knows all too well the risks faced by undercover agents. He's seen too many of them lose their lives or be exposed. And he can't bear the thought of something similar happening to Jordan. Meanwhile, Portia, Curtis's current partner, begins to notice changes in his behavior. She realizes Curtis is devoting too much time and attention to Jordan, raising doubts about his true feelings. Portia begins to wonder if Curtis has truly moved on from Jordan, or if she's competing with a past love he can't let go of. As tensions rise, Port Charles is headed toward a confrontation, not just between Jordan and Sidwell, but between Jordan and Curtis as well. Will Curtis accept Jordan's decision to take on Sidwell, or will he try to stop her at all costs? And can Jordan complete her mission without being exposed? Or will she face deadly consequences from Sidwell? This story is not only about the battle between good and evil, but also about trust, loyalty, and the fine line between protecting someone you love and respecting their decisions. As Jordan and Curtis continue down their respective paths, they'll face challenges not just from the outside world, but from their own emotions and beliefs. The coming weeks promise dramatic and unexpected twists for General Hospital fans as they watch Jordan, Curtis, and Portia navigate stormy waters of love, loyalty, and danger. Drew is working on a new plan, an intricate scheme slowly being revealed through his recent actions. The story of Drew trying to persuade Willow to grant him guardianship over Wiley and Amelia is becoming one of the most shocking developments in Port Charles. Willow, still mentally fragile after recent traumas, is gradually being manipulated by Drew's promises of stability and safety for her children. Drew has skillfully exploited Willow's current hardships, her loneliness, fears for the future, and strained relationship with Michael, to approach her with the guardianship proposal. He's portrayed himself as a reliable, stable man with the financial means to care for the children, all while assuring Willow she'll retain full access to them. At every meeting, Drew brings small gifts for Willow or her kids, building an image of a devoted and caring uncle. He has offered to help with school runs and medical appointments, becoming a constant presence in their lives. Drew has even started attending family and school events, creating the impression that he's already an essential part of the children's lives. One of the most shocking developments is that Drew has begun collecting information about Willow's mental health history and past questionable decisions. He's hired a private investigator to compile a dossier that could be used to argue that Willow is unfit to care for her children if she ever opposes him. This is a cold and calculated move from someone Willow trusts, showing just how far Drew is willing to go to achieve his goal. The private investigator has started questioning people from Willow's past, including former colleagues and neighbors, as well as medical professionals who treated her during her battle with cancer. Drew has even hired a psychologist to remotely evaluate Willow's behavior based on notes and videos collected by the investigator. But Drew isn't only targeting Willow, he's also going after Michael. He's begun gathering information about Michael's violent past, including his time in prison for killing Claudia Zachara and his history of anger issues. Drew has compiled a detailed profile of Michael, highlighting every mistake and shortcoming, ready to argue that Michael is unfit to parent Wiley and Amelia. This has sparked a growing sense of alarm among those close to Willow. Michael, despite his differences with Willow, still cares deeply about their children's well-being. He's begun to suspect Drew's true intentions and is working to collect evidence of his shady activities. Michael has noticed Drew spending too much time with Willow and the kids. And he started monitoring the situation from a distance. He's hired Spinelli to track Drew's online activities and has uncovered suspicious bank transactions, including payments to the private investigator. Michael has tried to warn Willow, but she dismissed his concerns as jealousy and mistrust. Carly, Michael's mother, has also started questioning Drew's sudden interest in Wiley and Amelia, especially recalling recent changes in his behavior. With her fierce instinct to protect her family, Carly has begun secretly investigating Drew. She's reached out to Jason for help, knowing he has the resources and skills to uncover the truth behind Drew's plan. Though initially reluctant to get involved, Jason agrees to help after seeing Carly's concern. He begins surveilling Drew, documenting his meetings and activities. Jason discovers Drew has been having secret meetings with a custody attorney, confirming his suspicions that Drew is planning something much bigger. Nina, who has a complicated history with Willow, also senses something is off. While she and Willow don't always get along, Nina can't shake the feeling that Drew is exploiting Willow's vulnerability. She's begun monitoring the situation, ready to step in if necessary. Nina approached Willow with her concerns, but Willow dismissed them, thinking Nina was just trying to stir trouble. Undeterred, Nina has started talking to others in Willow's life, including Sasha and even Wiley, to gather more insight into her relationship with Drew. She's also digging into Drew's past, searching for anything that could explain his motives. As Drew's plan progresses, he's begun reaching out to other members of the Quartermaine family to gain support for his bid to become Wiley and Amelia's guardian. He's convinced Ned that this move would keep the children tied to the Quartermaine legacy and protect their inheritance. Drew laid out a detailed proposal, emphasizing how he would raise the children with family values and traditions. He stressed the importance of preserving the family legacy and ensuring the children have a future role in ELQ. Initially skeptical, Ned slowly becomes persuaded by Drew's logical arguments. Brooke Lynn, though initially doubtful, begins to consider Drew's reasoning, causing a divide within the family. As a younger Quartermaine, Brooke Lynn voices concern about whether Willow is truly capable of raising Wiley and Amelia properly after everything she's been through. Drew cleverly plays into these concerns, strengthening Brooke Lynn's view that perhaps he should take a larger role in the children's lives. Not all Quartermaines are convinced, though. Monica, Drew's adoptive mother, expresses concern about his sudden behavioral changes. She questions why he's suddenly so interested in Wiley and Amelia when he never showed much enthusiasm for fatherhood before. Monica tries to talk to Drew about her worries, but he brushes them off as unnecessary. Olivia, Ned's wife, also voices her suspicions. Though Drew seems caring, she can't shake the feeling that something isn't right. Olivia, guided by strong intuition, tries to warn Ned, but he dismisses her concerns, believing Drew is only trying to help. As the story unfolds, fans are in for a dramatic custody battle involving Drew, Willow, Michael, and more. Drew's true motives remain a mystery. Does he genuinely care for Wiley and Amelia, or is this part of a larger plan to gain control of ELQ and the Quartermaine fortune? Some fans speculate that Drew may be working with Sidwell, the emerging villain in Port Charles, and that his custody play is just a piece of a grander scheme. Others believe Drew may have changed since returning to Port Charles and could be manipulated by forces he's unaware of. Whatever the truth is, one thing is certain: Drew's plan is causing major upheaval in Port Charles. Relationships are being tested, new alliances are forming, and long-buried secrets are coming to light. As Drew continues to push forward, those around him must decide whose side they're on and whether they're willing to fight for what they believe is right. Will Willow see the truth before it's too late, or will she make a choice that could cost her everything? These are the questions on every General Hospital fan's mind as this intense storyline continues. The coming weeks promise explosive twists as Drew's plan is revealed and the characters face unforeseen consequences. The custody battle will reach its peak, forcing many to make life-altering decisions. One thing's for sure, Port Charles will never be the same after this storm passes.